record now. Okie dokie. Let me just make sure I'm at the front. I do have quite a few slides to go through. I will pop across to ChatGPT, but I tend to use slides because otherwise, being dyslexic, I think my process would go all over the place. I take comfort in uh, my PowerPoint slides, so do forgive me if you're a bit like, no, it's a PowerPoint presentation. Part of it is, and part of it is. Um, Before AI, creating a quarterly strategy, a yearly strategy could take weeks. You might need to actually hire somebody to help you do that. What we can now do with the help of AI agents is actually, so 3, 6, you could probably bring it down to a day's work rather than it taking you a considerable amount of time. So this isn't a masterclass. It's your first CEO level strategy session with your AI dream team at the table. If you're ready to grow, scale, and simplify, this is where you can absolutely begin. You're not just learning about AI, you're going to be discovering what it means to build your quarterly strategy with clarity, purpose, support while using AI. Now, this is what I'm seeing happening in the market is that at the top of the funnel, we have people who are still very much sitting on the fence. They've got no interest in AI. They don't think it's going to impact their business, and they've really got their head in the sand. They are gonna, I think, in the next 6 months, they're gonna see some significant shifts in the market and how people are buying. I've already seen it happening. The next tier down is where people are still heavily prompting with inside AI and they're not using it strategically. So what they're doing is they are generally tending to use other people's prompts to extract information which they probably, if they did it again, wouldn't be able to rinse and repeat. So it's a very slow process. It's not as accurate and on point as it could be. So this is like the second part of the funnel. These are two spaces that you definitely do not want to be in when it comes to AI. We've moved past this point now. The next phase is where people are starting to create their own chat GPTs, but what happens is they normally create one and they create one badly. They don't necessarily use it and they just have created one. One chat GPT within its own right isn't going to create a very good experience for you because that normally says to me that that agent is created with so much information that you've given it so many tasks and so many jobs to do that it just can't perform well. You want an ecosystem of agents, not just one chat GPT. So a chat GPT is what I call an agent. So starting to play here, starting to see the value, but not because there's so little training around how to actually create agents. People don't know how to do it. So, it is what it is. The next phase down, or where the third group of people, or group of people are sitting, is they are investing in using other people's agents. So these are generally experts who have invested in creating their own agents with the help of someone else to create an ecosystem that they can allow their clients to use. So I have 47 agents that I've created that our clients use. They use them in lots of different ways, but I have specifically created those from my knowledge, my expertise. The next tier down, actually, I've gone back to front. No, I haven't actually. So I've created a bank of agents which my clients use. So people invest in using my agents. Then the next tier down is where clients are turning their own IP into agents that their clients use. So ideally, where I would want to be sitting right now is at the end of the funnel, is actually creating agents that my clients can use. So you can charge for them, you can wrap them inside of the containers it is that you're creating. They add more value. I'm not going to go into it now. That's time for another conversation. But if you could just drop in the chat box for me, where are you? You're obviously not sitting on the fence because you're here. So you might still be prompting. You might have created your own chat GPT. You might be paying to use other people's agents. You might have created your own agents that you're now selling and allowing your clients to use. I'd like to just get an idea of where people are at. Created 2 agents. Hey, Jenny. Sean, building AI team. Invested in experts, AI agents. Yeah, John, Helen. Using agents and I love them. Have created several agents. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So you really see the value of creating agents. Right, so I can see someone is prompting here. So hopefully this will inspire you to stop prompting and thinking about actually the next stage on from that, which is either learning to create an agent or investing in other agents. Created social posting agents. Yeah, okay. Invested in AI agents with Wendy. Yeah, lovely. Cool, thanks for that. That's good to understand where people are at. So we have 3 areas of expertise. We have 47 agents that we have created that our clients use. We now have a service whereby we take our clients' IP and turn that into agents. So we have create a little ecosystem for them that they can use with their clients. And we also have a brand new service, which is about creating book collabor agents, whereby someone buys the book, they have an agent that goes along with the book. When they've got questions of the book, they can then use the agent to bring the 2 things together, which is quite very special. So you don't need a big team, but you do need smart support. Smarty, I was going to say smarty support, so that's not quite right. And what we do is we give you access to a rapid business growth strategy suite. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. That helps you to scale with clarity, speed, and structure. So rather than taking it weeks for you to actually create a quarterly plan or a yearly plan, it now will take you a day. Now, the suite actually consists of a CEO, a business coach, a sales mentor, and a marketing manager. Those are the agents that you need to bring together to create a comprehensive quarterly or yearly plan. So these are the agents. If you think about it, if you were hiring somebody to actually help you to create a business plan, probably cost you anywhere, it depends who you use. If you use a coach that specializes in creating business plans, you're probably looking at about £1,600 plus, probably more. If you're going through somewhere like I was going to say Fiverr, not Fiverr, Elance, or one of the online networks where you hire someone, you're probably looking at about £500 plus to create a business plan. But these agents are already created to fulfill specific roles. So if you don't want to spend the next 90 days winging it, Sprint gives you the structure and the agents to support you. Now, I know there are a number of you that have been waiting for, sorry, I just want to jump across, or maybe I can do it this way. A number of you have been waiting for the waitlist application. So 5 places have already gone. I've just popped this in early so you don't have to wait for this, so that you can jump on, fill in the form, secure your place. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop this into the chat box. She says, looking in completely the wrong place. Chat. Okay. Okay. In the chat box. Yep. For those of you who were waiting, because I know you are, I don't want you to have to wait until the end. Okay. So running a business for me used to be like stepping in treacle, really, really hard work. I found it hard to get any traction. Part of that was because I'm dyslexic. And I found that I always used to play myself down. I couldn't articulate my message. Um, I didn't feel that I could compete against other people who were in the same space as me because of the dyslexia. The tool I was using at the time was absolutely rubbish. I used to get people write to me and say, who did I think I was, sending emails because I couldn't spell. Yeah, a whole load of yucky stuff came with trying to run a business. It felt like I was trying to basically run it uphill. So it was really, really hard work. At least I can see that you've got your hand raised. What I'll do at the end, if I've got time, I will take questions at the end, and if that's okay.
Was a mistake, Wendy.
That's all right. It's a bit of hands-on this morning, Lise.
I think it's because the moment you move your hand, I'll have to
Where
look
does
at
it
my
come up?
setting. Yeah.
Funny. Yeah, so I found it really, really hard work. And then I heard of ChatGPT, didn't really know what it was, didn't know anything about AI. Started using it and it just completely changed my life. I learned how to express my message articulately. I could do things much faster. I could create offers much faster. I could sell faster. Everything just literally dropped into place because it could keep up with how I was thinking. Not just keep up with how I was thinking, but unravel I was going to say the madness, not the madness, but just the craziness of what was going on in my mind around the business. I could articulate it really quickly. So, what I was doing back then, before I started using ChatGPT and training other people how to use it in their business, was I was helping people to create signature programs, and I was really successful at that. It was identify, create, and sell and repeat a signature program. So I'd basically take people from about £150 to £5,000 per offer. So I was really, really successful in that. But what I noticed was that when clients stopped working with me, and I don't think this is unique to me, their sales dropped. And there's a whole ecosystem that sits around the edges of a signature program. So my role was to help them to create it. But actually, around that, you've got all of the marketing, all of the sales, all of the conversations it is that you need to do to enroll new clients, basically. So they would what's low hanging fruit's not a quite word. No, people in that ecosystem would buy from them, but they hadn't moved it on enough for other people to grow their network from other people to buy from them. So what I started to do is I started to teach AI around each of those individual pieces. So one of them was run a virtual summit. Another one would
Mm.
be do webinars. Another one would be create a lead magnet. So every month I would use ChatGPT to bring this training together to sell to sell to people. But I must admit, by the end of the year, I was absolutely exhausted by it because that was 12 programs in 12 months, which is it's quite a lot. So that's how I started with ChatGPT about 3.5 years ago. The truth is, though, that most people approach ChatGPT like a search engine. So they ask one-off questions, they get service level answers. They don't go very deep. The real power is really about having a conversation with AI. It's not about prompting. It's about using it as a strategic partner. And really, the only way you can do that is if you have agents that you have conversations with. So those agents are created for you to be able to go backwards and forwards and have a conversation with, so you can get under the skin of and see what's really going on. Because we all know that ChatGPT, one of the best things it's good at is reading patterns. And we can't see these patterns with our own behavior. But once we start having conversations with the agents and we keep that conversation in the same um, chat during the week, it will start to pick up on our behavior and how we're delivering, how we're talking. We can ask it with a critical eye to feed back to us. What is it that it sees? So it's thinking about using ChatGPT more as a partner, more as a business partner, than thinking of it like a search box. You really want to think of it as a team member. Some people will object to me saying that, but ultimately having it as a team member, an agent that is on your side 24/7 rather than using it for prompting and for asking random questions that you're never going to be able to repeat twice. The best way to use it is to analyze what's going on. And that's why it's so good at helping you to create a business plan, a quarterly plan, because it can analyze the data that you already have in the business. And what I mean by data is things like testimonials, your sales pages. And when you're creating your business plan, that information is gold dust. But if you're anything like me, I never knew what to do with it. Yes, I've got it. Yes, I sell from it, but my mind is not designed to analyze testimonials and pull out every single bit. I think before AI and before agents, it was really difficult to create one. To be fair, I never even created one. I never created a business plan. I never created a quarterly plan. And now I can see the significant difference between, not having a plan and having a plan and the difference it's made to my business. So why Empower AI agents are different? You don't actually need to build a team because I can give you access to mine. So it's a strategic AI dream team, and it really helps you to see things from a different perspective, things that you're likely to have missed in your business. One guaranteed 100%. We all see it, and it's fantastic because it can mirror back to us what it is that's actually missing and what it is that we need to see. So you don't have to start from scratch with these agents. They're already trained to think like strategic coaches, marketers, sales mentors. Each one's pre-built to fulfill a workflow. We use to create a quarterly plan and a yearly plan, you need to have some level of prompting. So the agents, the information that you pull together, and then the prompt to actually pull out the information using a specific agent that has a particular role and a personality. So ultimately, you're not lacking skills necessarily, but what you are lacking is capacity. There's a there's a there's a bit of a skill gap between. So the agents can fulfill skill gaps that you don't necessarily have. So I think I've actually got that the wrong way round. So there's two things. There's the capacity and there is bandwidth and skills gap, three things. So what the agents do is they simplify that whole process for you because they help you to fill the skill gap, which frees up your bandwidth, which is really, really important. It also means that you don't have to hire somebody, which obviously saves you a significant amount of money. But more importantly for me, it's not so much about hiring a person, it's actually that you get the job done. So take me, for example, I never had a business plan. And now that I have one and I implement it quarterly, there has been a significant difference. Oh, look, it's Lisa. Oh, actually, Lisa, can I ask you?
Yeah,
I know you've done Sprint and you loved it.
yeah.
And so you were like me, I never had a business plan. And then I had one, I was like, oh my God, this just completely changed everything.
Yeah, I mean it's I think was uh the sprint was the best value for money that a course, program that I've been on because I hadn't ever had a business plan. I'd got one sort of in the head, and I knew what I needed to generate on a monthly basis, but that's going from month to month, where this has allowed me to, plan for the quarter and keep checking in with the Lucas as to how I'm doing because numbers are not my forte. Um, because I just, they either fill me with dread or they fill me with delight and nothing in between. So I just felt it was very grounding to use an agent to have that non-emotional conversation with. So it was brilliant, Wendy, brilliant.
Great. Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's amazing how much. I think what's interesting here now is that business plans are no longer something that you put on a piece of paper and put in a drawer. A business plan in the context of AI is a living, breathing element of your business. Because as Lisa just said, you go back and you check every week. You check in with your business plan. You check on to see where you are in the process with your business plan. So it's alive. It's not something that you write and then you throw it away, which is often what I hear. These documents, and I'll talk about it a little bit later on. The documents that we create to bring the business plan together are documents that you will consistently use within AI to create the foundation for your business. So creating your offers, sending emails, whatever it is that you're doing, you use these as like foundational documents to build from. They are so much. It's a very different experience. It's think of it as being alive. So when you come to the next quarter and you analyze that quarter, you can actually see where the shifts are, which you couldn't do before. You couldn't see. Yeah, you had an idea. You might say, oh, I haven't made as many sales as I wanted to, but you wouldn't have any idea about your level of leadership, how much you've grown, how much, in what direction the business is growing in. This is something that a paper business plan cannot, it can't do. Oh, look, there's Frank. Didn't know you were going to be on, Frank. I found a good picture of you, by the way. So Frank hasn't done Sprint, but he has used our CEO. He has used, oh my God, I nearly forgot Lucas's name. I don't know how I did that. Lucas, Frank, what do you think of Lucas?
Yeah, I've been playing around with it, and I think and it's kind of spurred me on to start looking at it more deeply. Um, but I mean, it's early days yet. But as I just mentioned at the beginning, at the top of the meeting, I'm sort of really looking at the business with fresh eyes, and just I think when you're immersed in your business, and I guess we're all solopreneurs here. So it's probably the same for you guys. And I've got ADHD as well. When you're immersed in it, there's so many things going on that you just can't get this overview, this detached overview of the business. And I think, yeah, this is, yeah, it's really going to help get that that strategic overview. So yeah, I'm exciting stuff.
Cool. Thanks, Frank. Helen?
Can I just add to what Frank's just said there? He's absolutely right. You end up with eyes from the outside looking in, but also it's not just eyes from the outside looking in. It helps you to see other things. So as if you can kind of look a little bit more laterally as well. And the idea of, never thought of that. And suddenly it opens up this other doorway to something else. You can go, oh, actually, that could be a really good idea. And I don't just mean necessarily the big, huge, like for me, for example, maybe doing weekend retreats or week retreats on Wendy's doorstep, for example. It can be the lower end of the scale as well. Have you thought about this as an introduction of people coming into your world, sort of a thing? So it's the whole scale of it all as well, that it gives you that bigger picture of things.
Cool. Thanks, Helen. Yeah, there are many, many, many benefits. And I think one of the best things about creating a quarterly plan, I know I'm focused on a quarterly plan here, but I'll talk about the stats in a second. It's interesting how many people don't have a quarterly plan. They have a yearly plan, but not a quarterly plan. Yeah, I mean, I started doing, I think this is the third plan I've done, and in my so where am I? We're in the second quarter, so I hadn't had this is how significant it is, right? So I haven't had a business plan, just because to me, in my mind, it's way too complicated. There are way too many moving parts until now. And in the second quarter of the first month, I'd done my financial goals, my financial target for the whole of the quarter. And then the second month of a quarter, I did even better. And that's because of having a plan. I've got absolutely no doubt about it. Using the agents to actually analyze what's going on, where my focus needs to be, where have I got leakage in my energy, where are the bottlenecks? And that's what I'm trying to say about the quarterly plan is now alive. It's not something that you just create and put in a drawer. You use it on a weekly basis to analyze where you're at and where you're moving to. It's very different. So our clients are shifting from experimenting with AI to having structured, scalable, AI-powered workflows. So this is just typical. This is taken from the data that I get back from my clients. So 80% who joined sprints, they didn't have a clear quarterly plan or a launch strategy. 60% were unsure of how to line offers to revenue goals, quite common. 90% reported feeling focused and confident after week 2. 100% created repeatable AI workflow by week 3. So basically, they've gone from having no plan at all to having 100% aligned plan and knowing exactly what they are doing when. It's quite often the case that, you know, our businesses have grown, but what happens when our business grows, our workflow, we just have more and more things to do. The workload increases. You're doing everything, client work, marketing, admin, content, sales. I mean, the list just goes on and on. And some of the balls actually are going to stop falling. I can even see it within my own business that, you know, things that would take a priority, or what I thought were a priority, now go down to the bottom of the pile. Pile? I don't quite like describing things I've got to do as a pile. It doesn't seem quite right. So part of what happens in business is the biggest growth block. It's not about time. It's about something that me and Helen quite often talk about, and that is decision fatigue. It's skills gaps. Hiring is expensive. Doing it all yourself isn't sustainable in the long term. But just think, if you could have your own empowered AI team to support you without any of the hangover, without any of the headache, how awesome would that be? For me, it's just been a complete life changer. Absolutely. So I think a lot of people think that AI is about automation, and it's not. As I said earlier on, it's about having that conversation with AI, not thinking about it as, because I know there's a lot of talk out there about AI focused around automation, but what we're actually doing is we're creating conversation, not automation. And what we want to do is to create strategies that actually work, that are alive. Alive. I mean, using loose words here, alive, that you can breathe life into. I mean, obviously you can't do that, but you can interact with agents that make them feel as they're part of the business. They're an integral part of the business. So it becomes more than just a tool. It becomes a partner, a trusted advisor, and a team member that you lean on. I was thinking I've created, but it's actually more than that. It must be about, I don't know, about 6. I've created about 60 agents now. So obviously there are 45 in the Vortex that clients use, and then I'm creating them. People are now hiring me to create their own teams for them, which is really really interesting. And someone said to me during the week, why don't you just create an agent to write a business plan? And I would absolutely not create an agent to write a business plan, because going through this experience myself repeatedly now, and this will be the third time I'm going through it, is that the power is the power is in the relationship you have within inside the process of creating the business plan. If you get an AI agent to create a business plan for you, you are going to miss out on the depth and breadth of learning, seeing what's working, seeing what's not working, what it is that you need to tweak. It's I was going to say it's cheating. It's cheating is the wrong word. It's a cold experience. You miss the nuance as a business owner. And if the AI misses the nuance of a business owner, it's going to get the plan wrong. It's going to take you completely off track. So what we do is we take you strategically through a process, or I should say, take you strategically through a process, but use the agents to bring it together, because then you can see what's actually working and what's not working. So there are 4 agents that you need to think about using. So one is a CEO, so a big picture, strategic thinking. I mean, his name's Lucas. I created Lucas because I am rubbish, so I didn't have a business plan. Lucas, I think, was it was one of the first agents I created, and was like my stepping stone to not having a plan, because he's big picture, strategic thinking. Yeah, one of the most popular agents it is that we have. The next one we use is business coach, because she gives a completely different perspective. Her name's Wendy, of course, named after myself, because she likes to get involved in the day-to-day management. And so she's small picture, Lucas is big picture. And both of these are important when you're creating a plan, because you're going to want to go big picture first, and then you're going to want to rein it right in to small picture, bringing it down to the quarter, the month, the week, and the day. Also, if you're creating your quarterly plan, you need to have a marketing manager. And you also need to have a sales mentor as well. These 4 work together to create your plan, being guided through a step-by-step journey that we take people through. So they don't replace me. Basically what happens is I become a better business owner, because I can then lean into the skills of a sales mentor. If I'm not sure about something, if I've got a difficult conversation coming up, if I'm not sure how to price something, I can ask my sales mentor, what do you think? But also at the same time, have the strategic overview of the business and the sales mentor together. So think of using these 4 agents as your board of directors, as a strategic team within your business. So every week I have a conversation with all 4 of these agents in line with the business plan that I have created. So I can see what it is that I'm working on, the direction I'm heading in, what makes the business different. So I can ensure that all those key elements are brought into what it is I'm doing. And that has meant that I have increased my business by 500%. And I put that down to the plan, not just the AI, but actually using AI strategically in the business. So Bernie uses it exactly the same way. She's increased her sales by 30%. And more important for Bernie is that not only is she working with more of people that she wants to work with, which is also very important for me, considering she's in the therapeutic space, she hasn't increased her hours. So she's increased her sales by 30%, but she hasn't actually increased her hours, which is really important. Sean saves 15 hours a week, thousands in outsources costs. Marina, she has done the same. We've now just created her own AI agent team, which her clients now use, which is really cool. But she saves roughly just over £1,000 a week in outsourcing costs. So she's using it as a strategic business coach, and she uses a lot of it for content and copywriting as well to sell her certification program. So once you've got a plan, it makes a significant difference in the business. So let's stop here. Has anyone got any questions up to this point? Because I realized I'm speaking quite quickly, and I've probably covered quite a lot.
Okay. Hi, Wendy.
How
How does this work? Hi. Sorry. How does this work in a service-based industry? I don't need sales manager or whatever. I need someone to find me partners and customers.
Right, okay, let me finish the rest of the conversation, because that's quite not the rest of the conversation, the rest of the presentation, because that's quite a big question. Has anyone got a smaller question? Frank?
Yeah, did all the GPTs speak to each other? Are they do. And can they access the interwebs?
They can, however, I wouldn't recommend it. If you are putting your own IP into an agent and you're creating an agent around your business and you're selling it to clients, you want it to be within its own container and it doesn't go outside of that.
Yeah.
You want it to be contained. You don't, unless it's specifically designed for that. But I recommend that people actually turn that off.
Yeah.
Right.
I get that.
Yeah.
A lot of my work is web based. I build, design, and write websites. So yeah, I'm just thinking how to include that into the mix.
If it was for you, if that agent was for you, help you do that piece of
for
work,
me.
and no problem. Yeah, no problem. I just think giving an agent like that to clients that's got no boundaries, you'd have to be really clear on what it was doing. But for you, yeah, no problem. Jenny?
Yeah. So Wendy, I was just thinking you mentioned IP just then.
Yeah.
Using the agents, both for ourselves and for if we were doing them for clients, whatever it is, how are we then protecting our IP so it's not then used by other people and by ChatGPT for like learning and things like that?
Think of ChatGPT as like the matrix with all the numbers and the digits running down it. So when you're creating your agent, it has its own ecosystem. So it's not taking it as my IP and then spinning it back out as my IP. It's putting it into a huge bundle of digits and numbers and regurgitating it as a collective, like the Borg. Do you remember the Borg from Star Trek? It's a bit like that. It simulates it and then spins it out, but not as your IP. But the agents, they contain everything within inside. So the GPTs they work differently to if you were just entering data into ChatGPT, creating. So that's how I see it. It's not going to. So if someone said, "What's Wendy Keir's 20-step process for creating agentic AI?" it wouldn't give it to you because it's not in the public domain.
Wendy, but I did learn something a couple of weeks ago. You can actually go into your settings and turn the function off that sends all of your stuff up into the matrix. So
yeah, in the back setting. You're right, actually. Yeah, in the back.
Yeah,
Just thought that was on the front.
In the back office in settings, you can sort that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works for agents. I would need to check. I'm not sure if that's just for general chat or whether it's for. Well, yeah. Anyway, I'll have to check. Not sure, but yeah, you can do that, Lise. You're right. But with the agents, it's its own ecosystem. It doesn't take it and share it into the it doesn't regurgitate it out. but also you can create them so that when you do the training data, you there's a section that I give that basically says this can't be copied, it can't be regurgitated, it can't be cloned. So if anyone tries to do it, it instantly comes up with that as a it just says, yeah, nice try, but you can't do that. Okay. So from the testimonials, they're not random AI users. They're business owners just like you who have shifted from using AI for random tasks to using it in the business strategically. So for me, I thought I was doing everything right in the business. I've been using AI for a long time. I thought I was getting the most out of it. And then all of a sudden I was having a conversation with Lucas, the CEO, because I was stuck. And he actually replied to me and said that I was the bottleneck in the business. And that was a bit of a tipping point for me because that meant that the agent was actually reading the information that I had given it. And because the memory has been increased, was actually able to identify where the bottleneck was within my business. And I was actually quite stunned because I hadn't experienced anything like that with inside ChatGPT. And that was a significant shift about 6 weeks ago, I think it was, when they increased the memory. Now, I could have been working with a coach and mentor for a long time, and for this never to have been mirrored back to me. Not only that, it didn't just mirror it back, it told me how to fix it, which was just crazy. So it might be that you feel like you may not relate to the word bottleneck because I don't really relate to it, but I've used it because that's what it said. You may find, or you may be in a space now where you feel like you're the bottleneck of business. And the beautiful thing about it is if you've got a comprehensive plan that you are using daily, you can actually get yourself unstuck and understand what the bottleneck is and be able to move forward. So the moment I started using ChatGPT to plan smarter, not just work harder, was another tipping point. That was a tipping point when it said to me. And then from then I started to create a strategic roadmap that was obviously going to save me a lot of time and for me to be able to consistently see what was going on within the business. So the quarterly plan, the yearly plan, if you haven't got that, you've got nothing to gauge. It's very difficult for you to gauge in the business where you're going, what you're doing. You'll have a human sense of it. AI, much quicker. It will see things very differently. It will see patterns much more quickly, and it will point you in the right direction faster. So, it's not about writing emails. It's a powerful business planning asset and to be seen as an asset. If you use AI correctly, it can help you structure your entire quarter, month, year, and day. And that's exactly what I do, is I do my quarter and then I map out the months. And then when I am in a launch, I will actually go down to the day and what it is that I need to be doing. So does anyone feel like, let me just see if you can just drop in the chat box, do you feel like your quarterly strategy, that you're like winging it a little bit, that it's a little bit unclear? Am I the only one that used to wing it? Yes, winging it. Good. Glad wasn't the only one. Definitely winging it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Don't always have a quarterly plan? Yes. Awesome. Yeah, girls winging it. Yeah. I mean, I'm not being funny, but a plan is that, when you bring your quarterly plan together, there's a lot of moving parts. So you don't actually need more information. You actually already have the information. The trick is to actually pull the information out. So these are the moving parts that we need to cover to create a comprehensive business plan. So there's 5 strategic layers. This is why we don't do it, because it is just so overwhelming. You might think that you just need one of these, but actually don't. You need all of them for it to really work comprehensively. So you need your ideal client. You need to set clear goals for the quarter. You need to make sure what your offers are, what it is you're selling. You need to be sure about what your marketing campaign is, and you need to be clear about what the implementation strategy is. So these are all quite big moving parts. You know, even really pinning down who your ideal client is can be quite a challenge. But the beautiful thing about using AI is that it does all the heavy lifting for you. So all you need to do is give it the data within a framework, and then it will just automatically do it for you. And if you're asking the right questions, it's going to pull out some really great answers for you. So each of these steps is comprehensive, each step that we go through. So these are the 5 steps, the 5 layers that we go through to be able to create a plan. And something that's not in here is that there's things that you actually need to let go of to be able to grow, because there will be things that will be happening in your business that you need to clear out of the way to be able to grow and to move the business forward. So if you just think about, you know, I'm just picking on ideal client profile because it's the first thing that comes to mind. There are different layers and processes that you need to go through to even be able to find the best client for you to work with. And that can actually change from quarter to quarter. What I have seen is the ideal client I started with, this is why I like doing it quarterly, the ideal client I started with isn't the same as who it is now, which is really, I find that quite fascinating. That's quite interesting. Now, I think there is a big difference between creating a business plan when you're not using AI and when you're creating a business plan using AI. Because when you haven't adopted AI to create your quarterly plan, business plan, you do not have access to the same insights as anybody else. There's just no way, because you're working from your own brain, you're working from your own knowledge, you are going to miss things. It's going to take a lot of time. It's heavy. It's clunky. You don't have all the skills that you need to create that plan. That's just unfortunately a fact, unless you are skilled in creating business plans, which is really highly unlikely because that's probably not where your strength lies. As I said, if you use AI, you can go through each step of the journey, give the AI the information, and it will help you to sort it out quickly. As long as you have a framework that you are working within. The framework is really, really, really powerful and really important. So basically what we've done is we've created a workflow that helps you to scale without burnout, helps you to create the quarterly plan. And we use 4 agents to do that. We use Lucas, who is the CEO, Wendy, who's the business coach, Tip, who's the sales mentor, and Buzz, who is the marketing manager. So I can't remember who said earlier on, I think it was Debs, was saying, like, you don't need a salesperson, or you don't need a marketing manager. You just need to know how to find the people. Well, that comes straight back to who's the ideal client, who are the potential partnerships it is that you want to get in front of. And actually, while it isn't direct selling, there is selling inside that, because you are building a relationship, and it's the marketing that also underpins that. So it's having a clear step-by-step strategy as to how you're going to do that to reach your financial goals for that quarter. So everything is interlinked. You know, it's one step before the other, and the first step is definitely the most important step, and that is, who's the client, But it's not just about you thinking about who the client is, it's about getting the data and analyzing the data and reading what the data is saying about who your ideal clients are. So, you know, the old day would have been, who's my ideal client? Oh, I'll just write this down. Now it's, no, get the data, analyze it, let it help me figure out who my ideal client is, because it might be something completely different, something that you've missed. So the Empower Rapid Business Growth Strategy Suite, you know, it's not a one size fits all. Each agent is, it's been designed with a role. So you use it on your own platform. And because your own platform is tuned, ChatGPT platform is attuned to how you use your own AI, it adapts and molds in within your own AI. So it is a role within your own AI ecosystem. And if you're going to hire, I just checked some prices out before I came online. You know, if you were going to hire someone to help you to write a business plan, you're looking at 1,600 plus. Even if you're using freelance consultants, you're looking at anywhere £385 plus. Probably a lot more than that, actually. Need to properly check. So Sprint isn't a cookie cutter immersion. It's designed to meet you where you are, to help you to create breakthroughs that are unique for your business and goals. So each business owner goes on their own unique journey. It's not something that's added to your plate. It's designed to take things off your plate. So a lot of our clients are saving 7 hours a week. I save 7 hours a week. I work 4 days a week. I try and keep my 5th day off. I used to fill it with other things to do. And I thought, what's the point? AI is just giving me a day off. I should take it. So that took a while for me to get my head around. You don't need to start from scratch. Sprint walks you through every step. By the end of the 3 weeks, you'll not only have your quarterly plan mapped out, you'll have built a system that works for you going forward. And the lovely thing is that once you've created this, you can just rinse and repeat it because you've got the framework, you know, you've got access to AI. So you can just rinse and repeat it once you've done it, once you understood it. My clients, they rinse and repeat this part of this process every week so they can see exactly the direction it is that they're heading in and how they need to adjust what it is that they are doing. So we create a plan that's deeply rooted in how your business actually works and how you think. Your AI agents become your accountability and insight partners, helping you to adjust and stay aligned in real time. This isn't coaching. This is not coaching. I don't coach. I might use elements of coaching. This is mentoring, and it's teaching people how to create a repeatable system. So here's the thing, as I said earlier, once you have all of those documentation, so you've got the 5 pillars that we go through, once you've got the documentations in each of those sections, this is how I use them. Actually, I'm not sure. So I'm now on, you can, with the 33 here, with the 32 here, this is work. I've been doing this process now for 32 weeks. And then at the start of the week, what I will do to give context is this document here is an analysis of the last week that I have just done business-wise. So I've been having a chat during the week, you know, this is what I'm working on. This is what my priorities are. And then I'll be, you know, whatever is going on, this is an ongoing conversation, and I'll analyze what has gone on in that week. And then I will ask just to give a summary of where I'm at and doing. Then a bit further down, what I will do is I will add in some of the other documents that I created in my quarterly plan. I may not add in the whole quarterly plan. It's typical. Oh my God, it's quite far down. It's not normally this far down. Normally my documents are further up the top. But what I will have here somewhere is 4 documents that are relevant to my quarterly plan. I know they're here because I checked them. I checked them earlier on, but I'm not going to keep scrolling because it will just be confusing. So you use those documents during the week. You don't just create them once, put them away. So basically what we've done is we've compressed the time frame into 3 sessions. So you can get your quarterly plan done rather than it taking weeks, not having it. You've got the other documents it is that you can use. You can rinse and repeat the process. So sprint is running over 3 weeks. It runs for an hour and a half. It will be Tuesday morning. And what we're going to do is we're going to use AI to help you to identify your clients, discover what makes your business unique, which is important, what sets you apart. We're going to identify the remaining goals. Well, actually, not the remaining goals for 2025. We're going to just focus in on the 3rd quarter. We're going to take a quarter at a time because you might already. I just think it's a better way of working when you're using AI this way. So one of the things I've noticed each quarter is things change quite quickly, new services come in. You know, a yearly plan, I think now yearly plans will adapt much. They will grow, change, not grow. They will shift and change much quicker than they ever have before because you've got constant data going in. I almost think that yearly plans could actually hinder rather than help people progress. They've still got a place, don't get me wrong, they've definitely absolutely got a place. I just think when you're using AI, it will be out of date so quickly because you're getting access to ongoing data all of the time that they'll just change. Yeah, so we're going to focus in on the quarter, that's what I'm trying to say. So we'll be looking at optimizing your tasks to become more efficient and focused. Develop a repeatable sales process so you can attract clients and convert clients as well. And also build in your marketing and sales plan for consistent growth, which is quite incredible that you can do that in a day now. Not months, but a day. So it's truly one of a kind, it's hybrid, it's a combination of business mentoring, a proven strategy, using AI, using a repeatable process that you can go through. It's really, I can't tell you the difference it has made, you know. It has made to my business and to my clients' businesses that I've seen a significant, well, obviously I'm experiencing it, that's one thing, but actually to see my clients' businesses grow the way they are growing is quite something. It's really, really inspiring. I know I've run over, sorry guys, but you know, I didn't realize until I started this process how many moving parts there were to a business plan or a quarterly plan. It's like there's really lots of moving parts to it, and all of the elements need to fit together.
Yeah.
And if you don't have one, it's going to be out of alignment.
Right. I have 2 quick questions. Do you need to be perfect on ChatGPT to be able to do this?
No, because I take people through step by step, and the agents are already created. Okay.
And secondly, what if you don't meet your goals for that quarter? Do you just put it all back in again and start afresh?
Well, I wouldn't wait until the end of the quarter. So as you, Ginge, as you are, sorry, I'm looking after the neighbour's dog. And she doesn't listen. She's a proper Thai dog. She's like human.
Okay.
I wouldn't wait. I would not wait to the end of the quarter. So because your plan is, think of it as being alive and breathing rather than, you look at it every quarter, you'll be using it every week to see whether you're on track or not. And if you're not, you will have a conversation about how you need to adjust that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not this plan is alive. It with the agent, you'll be like, oh, that you'll be like, you might be go, oh God, my day's been really crap. That didn't go very well. I didn't hit my targets. I haven't found anyone to speak to. And you'll start this conversation and you'll start to find a way out of it, to navigate out of it, to the action you need to take. So you're not waiting to the end of the quarter. You're in a living, breathing process.
Okay.
This is what makes AI so special.
Okay.
You know,
I get it. I get it.
Another way of
it's like having another. It's like having a brain.
Yes, yeah, basically.
Alongside you. Yeah.
Or just think, if you're working with a coach, you would have a coaching session, and then you might have one another week later.
Yeah, and then you react. Yeah, yeah.
The difference is you're filling the gap in the middle.
Yeah.
And you're not waiting to speak to the coach.
Yeah.
At the end of the week.
Automatic.
It's still relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, to me, the human connection is really important.
Yeah.
My whole thing is about keeping the human in AI. I don't think you absolutely, especially with a business plan or a quarterly plan, you cannot just go, here's a few ideas, give me a plan. You need it. It's a partnership.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
John?
Well.
Yeah, just a quick question. Yeah, just a quick question on, is Sprint on the proviso that you've already got agents in place, or I wasn't clear on that. Is Sprint available in the lead up to having agents?
You can get access. So with Sprint, you get access to the 4 agents for the 3-week period. So yeah, you couldn't do it without them. So what I do is I'd actually do it for 4 weeks, so it rolls over a bit. So you get access to the 4 agents for the 4 weeks during Sprint. And then if you wanted to continue with the agents, you would just join the Vortex for 6 months. That's generally what people do. Sprint is a really great example of how to use the agents, and then people just fall in love with them. Then, yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Anyone else? We all good?
Well, just interesting from your point of view. Are you looking at other, ChatGPT is a what do you call them? An AI. Are you looking at other platforms, or no, you're always going to base yourself at the moment on ChatGPT?
At the moment, I'm just going to ChatGPT is more than good enough. And people are used to using ChatGPT. You know, they're not used to using the other platforms. Plus, I don't think you can create agents in the same way to talk to one another and have conversations. And yeah, I'm not one of these people that will ask a question and then go on to 5 other platforms and ask the same question. I'm just like, why would you bother? I'm like, I haven't got the time.
I'm just thinking that the space moves so fast that obviously you're probably, as a specialist, aware of what else is going on in the market, because like all of us, we have to be open to change, don't we? And pivot and stuff.
Absolutely. The thing is, you'll see it all the time. Oh, ChatGPT is leading this week. Oh, everyone's leading this week. And I just think I haven't got the energy for it. It is more than good enough for what we need to do. If it was rubbish and it starts to fail, then I would be thinking, all right, I need to have a look at other things. But this is the one that most people use. And I know there's a lot of talk about automation, but it's not ready. It's clunky. It's complicated. It's not, and it's actually not. It's not part of, EmpowerAI is all about keeping the human in the relationship, not the automation. So yeah, there's loads. There's so many, John. I just focus on what I know works.
All the distractions.
Yeah.
I mean, how I look at it, John, there's loads of search engines you can use, but what's the one everybody uses?
Google.
So I mean, and I'm an Apple person, so Safari should be my go. But I still have the Google app on my phone.
Yeah.
I think someone just asked how much Vortex was. It's
Yeah.
£455 for 6 months.
Whoa. Oh, maybe I'm not quite ready yet. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really,
Maybe you are, or maybe you
it's,
are. It depends on
it's
how you
really,
answer the question.
thank you. It's
No,
really cheap.
I haven't got the money. I haven't got the kind of money.
That's what I mean. Maybe that means you do need it. I mean, I
Yeah,
might be wrong.
yeah, it's really
The, rea
cheap.
the reality for me, with regards to using the Vortex, I don't look on it as a cost. I look on it as an investment because it works out about 85 quid a month. The amount of time I save in a month absolutely surpasses the investment. I mean, for example, you said earlier on, Debs, I don't need a marketing manager and I don't really need a sales
No.
mentor.
Yep.
But the reality is, when I know you're part of a very big organization, but you're a self-employed individual. We all need I need a sales mentor, and I use it for the different businesses I operate within. And, writing posts, if you sit and write a post yourself, and I'm quite good at creative writing, but it takes time. Whereas if you once, and it's also, once you're in the vortex, the agents get to know you, so they write in your style. There are certain things that there are certain things that I wouldn't do or say in a post where other people might. So I just think you've got to flip it to be about it being being an
Yeah.
investment.
Totally
Yeah.
agree. Totally agree.
You still need an income to pay for all these things.
Totally agree with what you said, Lisa. We're open to, I mean, I've learned more in the last 5 years. You have to invest more in yourself and your business. I'm married to a VA. I can see Donna here, and I'm having a catch-up collaboration call with Donna later. But being married to a VA, she's very organized. But you have to invest in your businesses. You have to invest in yourself, and AI is just a natural step for me to amplify what we do and to become more efficient. And Lisa's just summed that up really, really well.
And I've said this to Wendy loads of times. When I had chemotherapy, I was petrified. I was petrified about having it. And I had a paradigm shift because the chemo nurse said to me, look on chemo as your friend, not the enemy. And it really changed my mindset. That's how I see AI. I don't see it as a scary thing. I now see it as a tool that just helps me do the things that I need to do within my business. I can still be all over the shop, but it's a bit like, it's a bit like getting the butterflies to fly in unison, which is quite difficult.
And you found it in your 40s as well, Lisa. You found it in your 40s, AI. Come on, look at what's gone out.
Yeah, if a 71-year-old can do it, anybody can.
No, you're not.
She's the
You've gone for blue. You've gone for blue today. I like your orange.
Blue today. Yeah. I'm on blue today.
Wendy, it's really insightful. I'm just adding myself to the wait list. Thanks a lot for a lot for your time. Obviously, as you know, we've invested in your agents through our VA business with Emma. Emma has been listening, but she has been working, typical VA, working in the background and listening into this. But I'll catch you later. I've got to go. Thanks a lot for your time.
All right, then if there was any more questions, I'll pop you all up as well. Hey.
See you. Thanks, Wendy.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks,
See
Wendy.
you guys.
Thank you.
Bye. See you, Donna. Bye, Jenny.